What's up everybody, it's Joe here with Joseph Blake Photography, and in today's video we're going to talk about the now announced GoPro Hero 13 Black and the GoPro Hero. What's up everybody, I'm Joe, this is my channel Joseph Blake Photography, and on this channel we talk about tech and news and gear and all the things that creators use to create, whether that's here on YouTube or anywhere else in social media, or if you're delivering to clients, or if you're just making videos for your friends and family. However it is that you're doing what you're doing to create content and whatever tools that you're using, we talk about that here on the channel. Socials all down below. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, but also at the end of the video, if you feel that this video was worth it, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. And obviously, if you're into this kind of thing, go and hit subscribe and turn the bell on so that you're notified when I put out new videos. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these new cameras. Now, I love action cameras. I think they are this kind of super cool little encapsulated thing. It's fun. It's a fun idea. My first GoPro was a GoPro Hero 4. I took it to Maui. I was able to get under, it wasn't even stabilized. I think it did 4K, but I loved that little camera. That got me into action cameras, and I have loved them ever since, and now I've got a ton of them, and it's an expensive situation that I'm in here. Now, I'm not going to go over all the features, and I don't have an in-depth review for you, but I just wanted to go over the stuff that was new and that I thought was interesting and novel. So the first thing you'll notice, and that's because really most of the marketing is related to this, is the HB lens system that GoPro has come out with. Now, if you hear me talk about other camera manufacturers recently and how the lens ecosystem is the way to go, hey, sounds like GoPro figured it out, because now they're going to be charging $399 for the camera, and you can spend hundreds of dollars more on lenses to adapt to it. So that's fun for my pocketbook. But one really cool thing is that they have added a ton of lenses to this system. So while lenses are not a new thing for GoPro, neither are the ND filters that they've added to this lineup. The idea that GoPro is making those lenses and that those lenses are communicating with the camera, that's new. And we've got a wider lineup of some new and interesting lenses to show you. So number one is the wide angle lens, which is now the 177 degree field of view, so almost 180. It is super wide. This is going to be really fun for those action, fast-paced situations where you're going to be able to see things whizzing by. It's going to create a really cool effect on that type of footage. Second is the macro lens, which I think is really interesting because it has a focus dial. So you can actually adjust the focus and almost do focus pulls, make things more cinematic, when traditionally the GoPro has been an infinite fixed focused kind of camera system. So that's really cool. The third lens that we're getting is the anamorphic lens. Now, this one isn't yet available, so we can't really see it, but it does do all the squeezing or de-squeezing in camera. It knows, again, when you attach the lens, there's a RFID chip that communicates between the lens and the camera. It knows when it's there, and it is able to automatically apply whatever effects are necessary in camera, which is great. The one thing that we didn't hear and that I'm still very curious about is whether or not this anamorphic lens is utilizing a larger component of the sensor, since we still have an 8x7 sensor. Pretty sure this is the same sensor. We haven't heard anything as far as size or difference here. But that it's doing the de-squeezing to, I think, 16:9 or 21:9. So you're going to get that 21:9 super cinematic aspect ratio and all the super crazy looking J. Abrams Star Trek lens flares that you've come to know and love from anamorphic lenses, if you're into that sort of thing on the cinematography side. And obviously they're getting in the game with ND filters. Again, you've been able to get ND filters for a long time, but when you would put an ND filter on your GoPro, it wouldn't know that it was there. It would still adjust as if it was getting regular light. Now with the lens mod system, it will know that you have attached an ND filter and it will adjust accordingly. In fact, it will even tell you in software on the screen, hey, if you want this to look cinematic, if you want this to look more natural with some motion blur and the 180 degree rule, you're going to want to attach ND8 or whichever one it thinks that you should based on the data that it's getting out of the sensor. That's super cool to help people out with that. Also coming with that new battery, which we talked about It's about 10 to 15% larger, so it will add additional time to your recording footage. But here's just one thing that I am super excited that I saw that we didn't hear in any of the leaks, which is this new connector on the side of the camera that allows you to connect a power source without having to open the door, right? Previously, if you wanted to externally power the GoPro, you would have to attach via the USB-C port on the inside and have the door open, which then exposes the internals of the camera potentially to the weather. So you can actually power this thing using this external connector, which uses pogo pins, which is super cool. And it's magnetic, so it just snaps in. Speaking of magnetic, the bottom of the GoPro now is magnetic, which means that they will have magnetic mounts. So while you can still do the flip out 2-finger with the bolt through, right? That's the GoPro standard. You can actually now magnetically attach this to a mount, which might not necessarily be the best idea for super strenuous situations where there's going to be a lot of vibration and movement. For basic things, if you're just moving right from section to section, or if you're in an environment where maybe there's less force that's going to be placed on the camera. Their example is someone moving throughout their kitchen, doing maybe vlog style or content creation with the GoPro. Lots of content creators here on YouTube are using the GoPros as their primary camera, so that is super cool and nice for those folks. Like recent GoPros, it's got 10-bit color. You're going to be able to shoot in their log profile with a LUT. It has the 8x7 sensor like I mentioned, so you can flip around for different configurations for things like wide, square, and vertical shooting. GoPros have been stabilized for a long time, so it's very stable. And you have the ability to import Bluetooth audio. Okay, cool. I won't be doing that, but I find that interesting. But last but not least, on the 13 Hero Black, the feature that I thought was just super cool is, if anybody's interested, if you head over to one of my other channels that I have been neglected, the MTB Missionaries. These are the mountain bike missionaries. This is a channel that I created for the sake of mountain biking. I want to get back into the channel, but it's not something that I've had time with. But one of the things that I did on some of the earlier videos was I would post my GoPro footage, and then I used a piece of software that I bought and paid for called telemetry that would then take the GPS / gyro data, put it all together, and I could lay that on top of a map, and it would let me show on video synced the direction that I was going, the speed that I was going, and where I was on the map. My tilt, it was super cool, and it was fun to do. The problem is that the software was really slow and buggy. I've not used it since, so if it's been updated since then, I apologize to the developer if that's something that has been improved. But it was really buggy, it was really slow, and honestly, it was very hard to get through editing. It would take me like an entire day to get through a video, which is why I'm not doing it anymore. But it looks like that is a feature that we're going to be getting on the Hero 13 Black, is the ability to put telemetry data through their software, I'm assuming through the Quick GoPro editing package, to be able to actually put that telemetry data on your screen to show you where you are and what's going on. That is cool. That is big. I'll be real honest. That makes me think about it. It makes me think about the upgrade from the 12 to get this camera. Again, the top line feature of the new GoPro isn't actually the GoPro. It's the lenses that go in it and the ability for it to automatically adapt to those lenses, and then a whole host of other things. But the other thing that we learned, the other thing that was announced, was the new Hero. It doesn't get a number, it's just the Hero. And that is their little buddy camera. Now, they've made little GoPros before. They used to make the Session. The Session was basically just the camera. There was nothing to it, and a lot of people really loved that because it was something that you could attach to your helmet or your surfboard or your FPV drone to be able to, with not a lot of weight and not a lot of fuss, get really good stabilized 4K footage. And I think that GoPro has been seeing that a lot of people are looking elsewhere or to older GoPros. And the GoPro Hero is basically a GoPro with 4K 30, and that's it. But it's only 86 grams, which is nuts. That is super light. So if you are an ultralight type of person who likes using GoPros to film your ultralight backpacking or your FPV drone flyer, this might be something that you can now look at because it's modern. We don't know which sensor they're using in it, and we're gonna have to do some comparison tests to see how well the Hero image stabilization does against the 13 and the 12 and the 11 and the 10 and all that to determine where this thing is in the kind of hierarchy of heroes. Also, again, we still need to wait for the anamorphic lens to actually be released, and then we'll be able to do some more testing on it to determine like how much of that it's actually using. Pricing wise, $399 for the GoPro itself at the current pre-order price, $199 for the Hero, which is a surprise to me. I was expecting something more like $299, so super excited there. The ND filter pack will be $69.99. The new ultra-wide lens mod, formerly the Max mod, will be $99.99. And the macro and anamorphic lenses, when it's available, will be $129.99 each. Those are the pre-order prices. All those prices are going to go up once these become available. And one more thing to mention on the Hero is that the image stabilization, we've learned, will actually only happen in the app. So out of the camera, it will not be stabilized. So my assumption is that the processing that's going to be done to stabilize that footage using the gyro data is actually, they're going to use the processor on your phone to do that work to stabilize where that's at. That's a bummer. But for that price, I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments if that makes sense for you. There's also a Media Mod Creator Kit Edition thing that comes with the handle, gimbal-y type thing, as well as the light, the Media Mod extension with the microphone, comes with a battery and a case, and that is $5.99. If you are a person that uses a GoPro for content creation, or if you have been interested in adding the GoPro to your kit, let me know down in the comments if the lens mod system is the thing that's going to get you over the edge to get this product. Or maybe this makes you look at the 12 or finding an inexpensive version, or are you looking at maybe one of the other brands? Let me know down in the comments. I'd be really curious to see your thoughts and to know where everybody's at with that. I will put links down in the description if you are looking to purchase the GoPro Hero 13 Black or any of the lens mod accessories. Those will be affiliate links, so if you do click on those, I do get a bit of a commission on that sale, and I appreciate that. That helps me continue making videos for you. Another thing that really helps the channel that's free of charge is to go ahead and click on the like button if you thought that this video was informative for you, as well as hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are notified when I put out new videos. Also, social links down below, as well as links to my website and all the other gear that I use. Thanks so much for watching. Happy shooting, and I will see you in the next one.